Hello, hello, hello.
Morning, Rinpoche. Good morning,
Sound check,
Rinpoche.
sound check.
Good morning, Rinpoche. Good morning, Rinpoche.
Hello, good
Can you hear me?
morning.
Can you see me?
Um, uh, I can't see you, but
Yeah, I am now on. Yeah, Rinpoche.
I, I, I cannot see you, but I can see your image on the
Yes,
screen.
yes, yes. It's me now. Yeah, I'm ready now.
I'm joking. So the sound check, sound is good. Sound is good.
Yes, very good, Rinpoche.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Sangye chedan zogye chonam lan janjo bardo danye gyab sonje dagye junso yebe sonam gen jola benjere sangye jo bara jo Sangye chedan zogye chonam lan janjo bardo danye gyab sonje dagye chuje yebe sonam gen jola benjere Dubara zangi chedan zagi chanam la janjo bardo dani kyabzonji. Dagi chuje gibe sunam gen dola benjire sang. Dubara jo. Zai jibengi. Ju jimen Dhamma Nian de Gen Boinde Sangye Shin Miende Mewaye Dorgun Namain Dai Shin La Jibara Joy Damanguroran Mendala Gamniya Daraya Mi
Yeah, Rinpoche.
Okay. Oh yeah. Uh, so we will pick up from where we left off last week.
Yeah,
So we left off, mm, we finished up to verse number 19. So
yeah,
from today we will start from verse number 20. Yeah. So this verse is regarding mm, um, the the type of company that you should be joining. Uh, like the person, an associate, or a partner that you should be going with. So when you look for a partner, when you look for an associate, you should look for someone with the following qualifications or the following characteristics. Okay, so let me read it in Tibetan first. Mini amri deshin mamin la minba tangda min la mamin da mami mamin parnang minani mimbar nashe kiwa dranto zeus. So the verse number 19 is 20. Verse number 19, verse number 20 is um, men like mangoes can be sour and yet look ripe. Some though ripe look green, and others green are sour indeed, while others still look ripe, and ripe they are. From this, know how to act. So I'm reading from the book which has Nagarjuna's picture on it. I think I shared two books, remember? So the English booklet that I'm reading is from as I said last week, I changed from the book that we previously used to read, which the poetry does not flow that beautifully. So I have changed to the one with the Nagarjuna's picture. So verse number 20. So a person that one should be associated with is likened to basically there are four types of individuals or people that you should be aware of And based on that, one should avoid some, and one should be wary of this and that. So a person is likened, or persons, people are likened to a mango fruit. So there are mango fruits that look ripe but are unripe, green. Sorry, that look ripe, yellow, but inside is still raw, unripened. Uh, there are mangoes that look that look unripe, but are ripe inside. Then there are mangoes that look ripe and are ripe inside as well, ready to eat. Then there are mangoes that doesn't look ripe, but are ripe inside. I'm sorry, there are mangoes that doesn't look ripe, and also inside the mangoes that look green and also unripe inside as well. So there are four types of individuals, just like there are four types of mangoes. So basically, what that means is there are people who yellow on the outside, but inside is not ripe. Looks ripe, but are not ripen in unripe inside. The people who are unripe outside, but inside they are ripe. Then there are those who are both ripe outside and inside, that look ripe and are also ripe inside. And then there are those who are not ripe and also don't look ripe as well. So this is based on a person's appearance and then person's the thought process, or the nature of a person. So some people may appear nice, but in internally they have evil thoughts, they have negative intention, etc. Uh, Even though people do appear nice, they are not nice. That is appearing green, but inside unripened. So like that, there are people who look nice but are not nice. There are people who are not who don't look nice but are actually nice. Then there are people who are both nice and look nice. Then there are people who do not look nice and also are not nice naturally. So one should be adopting, or one should be befriending people, the third category, which is people who are nice and look nice. And one should avoid the last one, which does not look nice and also are not nice as well. Don't people who don't look good and are also bad as well. The other two, you can you can befriend them, or you can associate with them uh, very cautiously. So all in all, it is Nagarjuna is telling the king that you should be you should be cautious when you befriend people. There may be people who look nice, who may appear nice to you because you are the king, so who will try to gain your trust, gain your confidence, and will try to befriend you. But they may or may not necessarily be good people. Um, because you are the king, they will always treat you well. So you cannot tell by how they treat you whether they are a good person or a bad person. But if you really want to know their characteristics or their nature, then you have to analyze, you have to research, you have to check how they treat people lesser than them, inferior to them, people who cannot do anything for you. If you treat people who cannot do anything for you, if you treat well, if you treat well to those people who cannot do anything for you, uh, then that person is good-natured. uh, if someone is doing good to you just because you are a king, you are a wealthy person, a powerful, influential person, then it is not necessarily because that person is kind, compassionate, and good person, but they actually have a ulterior motive. They have a negative intention. They have a ulterior motive. Intention is there. So Nagarjuna is advising King Gautamaputra that you should always be cautious when you associate yourself or you befriend you associate yourselves with new friends. Always make sure that they are good natured and then they they look good. Look good does not mean like handsome or ugly, that kind of thing. Look good means someone who appears nice and is nice, is good natured in reality as well. So those kind of people who look good and are good, you should you must befriend them. Then there are people who may not look good. Some people may look angry faced, or some people may look stern and serious and all that, but then really do a lot for the community, do a lot for people who are lesser, less fortunate than themselves. So these people also should be befriended. But then there are two kinds of people who does not look good and are not good as well. There are people who may look good but are not good in nature. So these two should be avoided. Now the next verse is on the subject of removing desire for others' partner. Whether so here it says another person's wife. So whether it's a wife or a husband, because the student here is King Gautamaputra, which is the male. So in this case, this was the term wife was used, but depending upon the practitioner themselves, whether if you are male, then uh, then removing sexual desire or desire for someone else's husband, or if you are a man, then removing the desire for someone else's wife, or if you have desire for the same gender, so it's the same thing. So anyway, it is about removing the desire for another person's partner. So within that chapter, there's two sort of a part. One is how the method of suppressing, the method of removing the desire for another person's partner. That is the the actual desire, removing the actual desire for someone else's partner. And the second part is the next part is on how to remove the root cause of that desire. Removing the desire and removing the root cause of that desire. Two parts. And the Tibetan. Shengi chungma mita tona yang nazu tumbar madang pomotang singmu doshi ki cha gyurna mizani to yangda sambar gis. English. Do not do not gaze on others' wives, but if you do, regard them as your mother, child, or siblings, depending on their age. Should lust arise, think well. They are by nature unclean and filthy. Now, this verse tells you to, this is the method, shows the method on how to suppress one's desire, your desire for someone else's partner. So here, in the original text, the term wife is used because this advice is given to King Gautamiputra, who is a man, and then has a wife, is a straight man. So one should one should not look at someone else's partner with the uh, um, with a lustful desire. Even if you see someone, if you were to gaze, one must not gaze, look at someone with desire. And if you were to see someone, then look at them in terms of a girl, look at them as your mother, as your sister, as your daughter, etc., depending on their age. So if they are much older than you, like then look at them as your mother. You can still look at them, you can still have love for them, but by looking at someone as your mother will curb your desire, lustful thoughts. Uh, if they are similar age or a little bit older, you can look at them as your elder sister, your aunt, your niece. And if they are younger than you, much younger than you can think of them as their niece and your daughter, etc., like that. So by doing so, you will be able to curb, minimize, reduce the lustful thoughts that you may have towards another, the wife of another person. Depending on your thought process, what your mental intentions are, your desires are, your feelings, emotions are, the way you deal with someone differs greatly. Uh, when you look at someone lovingly, but without any lustful thought, uh, then this loving affection can lead to something beneficial, something good. But even if you're not looking at someone, even if you're not touching someone, even if you are not engaging in any intimate activity, but if in distant, in distant, in a separate place, even without that person's presence, if you hold, if you cultivate desirous and lustful thoughts towards that person, then that desire will grow like a wildfire. And then when an opportunity arises for you to have an intimate moment with that person, then that wildfire will engulf everything, all the forest. So it's basically depends on how your mental attitude or your feeling and emotion is entertained. It depends on how your thought processes are rather than your actual physical actions. Physically, you may be with someone, but if your l- lustful attitude or desire is no longer there, then nothing will happen. But if you have that lustful desire, then even if you are staying in a separate place, different country, then a lot of things can happen, even if you are in a totally distant location. So depending, it's always important to check your mind, be aware, observe your mind, what you are thinking, what your intentions are. Always check that. Then, if your intentions are clear, then you can proceed with your actions, physical or verbal. If your intentions are not so good, then you should stop. So if you remember last time we talked about Geshe Ben Gungin, the robber Geshe-la, the robber monk, the thief monk. So he checked his intention before his benefactor, the sponsor, was coming, and then he know that he did all the decoration, not for. I mean, he did decoration for the altar, for the Buddha, everything, but his main intention is to please the sponsor. Uh, so then he decided that is not correct, that is not right, and he threw dirt on the altar. Remember, so just like that, we must always observe our mind, and if we have such negative intentions, then we should take a we should take a pause. If we have our intention, our thought process is clear, then we can proceed with our activity in engaging, talking, going when everything is okay if your thought process and if your intentions are clear. If your intentions are not very clear, it's murky, it's cloudy, then you should pause and observe and be cautious. So in this in this regard, there's one story during the ancient India during the Buddha's time. Um, Maybe not that early, but like in a long time ago. So there were two monks, one the teacher and the one senior and one junior. And then they were going to the town from the monastery. They went to the town. So when they went to the town, on the way, they have to cross a river. Um, so it's not that not a very high river, not a very deep um, river. It's quite shallow usually, but due to the monsoon season and due to the raining, the river actually rose very high, and the current is also very strong. And so therefore, the monks were ready to swim across. And then when they were ready to swim across, there was one lady who also wanted to get across the river. And there is no boat because usually it's a small sort of a river. And then she asked the monks to help. And immediately the junior monk said, no, 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 I cannot because I cannot touch like that. And the older monk says, okay, sure. And then he put her on his neck and then he swam or he just walked around. So basically he carried the lady from the one side of the bank of the river to the other bank of the side of the river across. And um, then they went to the town. They did they did their business in the town, whatever they have to do, and then they come back. And then um, they had they're about to go to bed, about to sleep. Then the junior monk asked the senior monk, "I have this there's something nagging me. I have this question. Can I ask?" And the monk said, "Yes, go ahead." So there's this question that has been nagging me since morning. Yes, go ahead. What is that? You uh, you were touching, and you were carrying and holding uh, a lady in your hand, on your body, on your neck. So basically, you are touching a lady, and you are carrying her. You carried her this morning. You touched her, and we're not supposed to do that. And the old monk, the senior monk, his answer is very beautiful. So his answer is that yes, I did carry her. I did, in order to carry her, I have to touch and all that. So I carried her. I carried her from one side of the river to the other side, and I left her there. And then we did business, and we come back, and we're here. I left her there since this morning. But you, my friend, you have been carrying her since this morning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you are with her since morning for the 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever. I carried her for 20 minutes and that's it. But you are carrying her the whole day.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that is something that we can observe. Okay, now the next, uh, yeah, now I think we can go to the next verse. Mm, yeah, the Tibetan is, oh yeah. Mm. So it talks about looking at when you not to gaze at other people's partners, but if you happen to do so, then look at them as your brother, your relative, etc. But in fact, but if you fail to do so, if you fail to see them as their relative, etc., then what can you do is this is the softer the soft method and the hard method. So the soft method is that you try to look at them as your sibling, relative, a father, mother, etc. If you cannot do that, then you have to use a stronger measure, harder measure, which is to see the flow, all the flows or the faults of that desirous person, uh, which will come later in the later verses, anyways. But so if you have desire, when we have lustful carnal thoughts, carnal desire towards a person, usually we are attracted by their aesthetics, the beauty. But beneath their beauty, beneath their outer appearance, inside is all the muscle, the mucus, the skeleton, the blood, the pus, and everything. They are um, very dirty, something that we will throw away. Mm. Uh, so it's not so when if we get so desirous towards some person and very strong attachment arises, then in order to curb down the attachment, we have to think negatively about that person, especially that person's as aesthetically. We have to focus on the negative side of that person. So by doing so, because our desire is associated with the aesthetic beauty of that person, so by focusing on the negative side, mm, the ugly side of that person, our desire will be able to we will be able to reduce that desire. Mm. Okay, now we'll go to the next verse, which is 요의 셈니 최종 보답을 대신 소단 자월 송기대 누바 도단 천단 자오다 메신 되면 데라 인중즈스. The verse number 22. Guard this fickle mind as you would do your learning, your children, your treasure, or your life. Renounce all sensual pleasure as if it were a viper, poison, weapon, foe, or fire. So this fickle mind, this fleeting mind. So why? Because the mind is, even though everything that we do is driven by the mind. We think so, then we say so. Because we think so, we do it. Because we think so, we say it. So we are led by our mind, our thought, our intention. But at the same time, that mind itself is so uncertain, right? We want something. We want something. Once we get that object, once we get that item, let's say that brand new phone. When you get that brand new phone, you play with it, then you no longer have this desire to get it. You no longer have attachment to it. You no longer want to have it. You want the latest version, the new one. You you desire for this girl, you desire for that man, and once you have that, then you want someone else, something else. You want something better. You remember the story of Nanda, Buddha's cousin, who is so much in love and entangled with his partner, Nandini. I told the story of the four, the Angulimala, Nanda, that one. So Nanda, but when he was brought to the heavenly realms, then all the heaven when he came to the first heavenly realm, he totally forgot Nandini. Then when he went to the second heavenly realm, he forgot the first heavenly realm. So the gods, when they become more desirable, he has attachment to them, and then he keeps forgetting that like that. So in our society too, whether it's an object, whether it's properties, whether it's persons that we love, we always tend to change. Once we get the things that we desire, then we want something better. We're always looking for the next thing. So basically, the mind is never stable. The mind is so strong that it drives both our speech and our actions, but at the same time, the mind itself is so fickle, so unpredictable, so uncertain, like a leaf that can be taken by the wind to here, to right, to left, anywhere. So therefore, the mind should be guarded at all times because the mind is the thing that drives everything. So by guarding the mind, you will be able to protect yourself, guard yourself, take care of yourself, etc. Then you must guard the mind as you would guard your wealth, your knowledge, your children, etc., etc. So the reason you might wonder what does it mean by knowledge? How do you guard the knowledge? So basically, what it means is if you learn something, if you learn some important lesson, if you have some important instruction, I mean, in today's time, you can just record it and this and that. But back in the day, you have to remember everything. You have to put it into memory. So if there are important instructions, then you have to memorize them and refresh that memory. In the monastery, we always early morning we memorize new textbook, and in the evening after we come back from our the classes and everything, then we do the refreshing. We refresh whatever textbook that we have memorized. So basically, whatever information, whatever instruction, whatever lessons that you have learned, uh, you go through them over and over again, maybe once in a month, maybe once 2 times, 3 times a year, etc. So refreshing your memory so that whatever important information or instruction that you have received, that stay intact, that does not get distorted. So for that reason, you will guard them like that. So the other examples are quite easy. How you would guard your son, your children, your treasure, your life. These are not difficult to understand. Hmm? And then one must renounce all the sensual pleasure as if it were a snake, poisonous snake, or poison itself, or a weapon, or a fire, because all of it, any of these things will bring harm to you. So you must be cautious when you when you play with those things. You must not play with those things, of course. It's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous toy to have. So therefore, you must be cautious and be careful with these things. Mm. So the viper, the poison, the weapon, the foe, the fire, these are a reference to the negative mindsets like anger, attachment, etc. So if you become friend with your anger, your attachment, these things, then you have to be very careful. Otherwise, they will overtake you,
Yeah.
overpower you. Yeah. So this is sort of a question that um, Nagarjuna posed, because it's a question that the king also may have as as a wise person, as a wise man, as an intelligent person. You may have that question. The question is this: because why should we abandon desire, pleasure? I mean, isn't this what makes life the most interesting thing? You have the pleasure, you engage in your pleasures, and then you enjoy. Life has so many difficulties. So when you have the opportunity to enjoy in the pleasures, why shouldn't we partake in this opportunity? We must utilize them. We must enjoy, uh, you know, especially in carnal desires, because of all the desires, there is good food, good house, good touch, all of that. The ultimate sort of pleasure, the ultimate pleasure is um, the sexual pleasure, and so therefore, why should one abandon that? Why do we have to give that one up? So this is a question that the king, especially as a king, because you live in a life of luxury and vanity, and you don't have to worry about much. So it's a question that the king very likely would have. So therefore, Nagarjuna posed that question as if asking himself, but is actually reminding the king that you may have that question. Why would you need to abandon that, the carnal desire? And the answer to that is the next verse, which is uh, the pleasures we desire will bring us ruin. Uh, they are like the kimba fruit, the Buddha said. Mm. So only two verse. These uh, the desires, even though when you are engaging in your desirous activity, pleasure, and all these things, it feels good. It makes you feel happy or good, but eventually it will catch up on you. Eventually, this will bring you to the ruins. And when that comes, then there is no turning back. So before you befall on something so negative, so you must be cautious and try to not to take part in it. Uh, so something called the kimba fruit is mentioned. So it is said that the kimba fruit is a very highly acidic fruit. So sometimes outwardly the appearance of that kimba fruit is very nice. So sometimes when we go to the trees, when we get lost in the forest and hungry, we don't know any better, and we eat that kimba fruit. because it looks nice, it looks safe. But after taking that kimbap fruit, one have stomach pain and etc. Then the third and the fourth line of that verse number 23, uh, further sort of proves that the pleasure, the carnal desire that we engage in not only brings uh, ruination to us in this lifetime, but it will, because of the negative action that we have done um, by committing those egregious acts, we come to ruin not only in this lifetime, but in future lifetimes as well. And so, therefore, we sort of extend or expand our samsaric suffering further and further. So basically, the third and fourth line is eschew them. It's their chains that tightly bind the worldly in samsara's prison house. So by engaging in those negative, the desirous pleasures and desirous acts, uh, one not only ruins this lifetime but future lifetimes as well, and it gets us stuck in the samsara forever. So therefore, in order to get out of ruination in this lifetime, the first two lines, and then to get out from further lifetimes, from suffering in further lifetimes, next two lines. One should be cautious, one should be observant when one have the desirous intention, desirous thoughts. So now I will read verse number 23 in Tibetan. Deba namni pungzui keba de gewe wangbu kibe de jar song teta pangi te jagro ki kowe zunra jigdien teta jing. So that is 23. I already read that in English. Now verse number 24, I will read in Tibetan first and then English afterwards. Kanda wangbo tuyu namlani takdo mide yota kanda ji. Yungor daso legel tedale kenam tangbur parab labar cel. So verse number 24. Of he whose fickle senses are controlled, these six that never cease to dart at things, and he who's fought and conquered many foes, the first is truly brave, the wise have said. So the meaning is this: the person who conquered his own the fickle mind, or the ever distracting and the ever distorted mind, and the person who has conquered many enemies, killed many enemies. Between the two, the wise ones usually the wise praise and the wise consider the first one, the first one meaning those who have conquered their own inner demons. So those let's call it this way: those who have conquered their inner demons, as and those who have conquered out of the two, those who have conquered the inner demons and those who have conquered the external demons. The wise one regard the first one, those who have conquered the inner demons, as a greater hero. If you killed many enemies, you are a hero. But if you kill your internal enemy, if you are able to conquer your mind itself, if you are able to conquer your fickle mind, your constantly distracted mind, the wise regard that person a greater hero than the one that has killed many enemies in the battlefield. So there is one line actually from the Shantideva's the Bodhisattva's way, which says the enemy. So here we are talking about something that's attractive, right? Desire, which is attractive. The Shantideva used the same example on something that is unattractive, your enemy. So your partner, your loved one, your crush, whatever, the things that you desire is the attractive one. On the negative side, on the opposite side, there are things that you despise, you don't like, you hate. So Nagarjuna said, if you kill the person who killed many enemies on the battlefield is a hero, but the person who has killed one's own anger, one's own hatred is a greater hero. Because no matter how many enemies you kill, there's still, When you are fighting, you can kill so many enemies. You can kill 100 enemies, 1,000 enemies, but only one enemy has to kill you because you can only die one time, right? So uh, you can kill 100 enemies if you have 102 enemies. If you kill 100 of them, two enemies still remain, and they can get back at you at any time. But if you kill your inner desire, inner anger, then uh, after you have removed your anger, then you no longer have any enemies. Any person that wants to harm you is not your enemy anymore. That person wants to harm you as an assailant, but it's not your enemy anymore. Once you kill your inner enemy, your anger, then all the external enemies also disappear. So that is what Shantideva said in the Bodhisattva's way. So this kind of goes in the same line. Shantideva is talking about anger. Nagarjuna is talking about desire. The next verse is Pime shunu luni loshi to tingawa dan gugu tyoba dan mizan kunyon jawa ganga da pabe yo da gen loshi sees. That's verse number 25. Regard a young girl's body on its own, its smell so foul, its openings nine, a pot of filth insatiable and clothed with skin, or packaged with the skin. Regard too her adornments on their own. Hmm? So, because King Gautamaputra, to whom the letter was written, is a man, and of course, men desire young women. So, therefore, the example or the analogy of a young girl was used in this particular book. But then you can actually re replicate the same with a man or a boy, or depending on your desire. Yeah. So to look at all the undesirable or the non-desirous aspect of a young girl. Um, so of course, when we are attracted to a beautiful girl, we see the aesthetically the beauty, the external part. But then, uh, if you look at it carefully, that external thing is the packaging. The packaging is very nice, but packaging is not the actual product. The actual product is inside is mucus, is pus, is blood, is bone, all the undesirous things that is in there. And so just will you like something undesirable underneath, but because the packaging is so beautiful, so nice, will you like that? Will you be able to, in general, if someone gives you let's say uh, a bottle, right, that contains urine, or a box that contains um, uh, turd, that contains shit. But then the packaging is done very beautifully, very nice, very beautifully decorated. And then when you know that inside that beautiful box is shit, will you will you enjoy that? You will not. Once you know that inside is just all crap, but the outward packaging is nice, then you will not. So just like that, look at the desirous aspect of a young girl. She may look beautiful, but that is the aesthetic, that is the external packaging. Internally, she is filled with all um, mm, the filthy these things.
Yeah.
So filthy means, because when you, I think we talked about this earlier, it's not denigrating women. It's not saying disrespecting women or anything. As I said earlier, you can replicate that with men or women, depending on which one you desire. Both men and women, if you don't care, if you don't do hygiene, if you don't care for hygiene and don't take care, we have all those filthy, our body. Once we eat something, our body starts creating filth. Our body starts creating filth. And unless we go to the restroom, the toilet to relieve ourselves, our body is totally filled with filth and unhygienic things. And so one must focus on the, the content rather than the packaging in order to curb the desire. So you see the line, the text, it says, like, for example, regard a young girl's body on its own, or the last line, which says, regard to her adornments on their own. So on their own means by itself. So the body by itself is not attractive. When you adorn it with perfume, when you adorn it with makeup, when you adorn with grooming, like when you shave properly, etc., then you start to look nice. But if you don't take care, if you don't groom your body, if you don't do makeup, if you don't put on those adornments, all those cosmetics, then your body will start to look terrible, not desirous anymore. So therefore, the thing that you are attached to, you are attracted to, is not necessarily the skin or the body of that person, but the decoration that you have put on that person. For example, a person's if you don't groom, or if you don't clean, if you don't put the makeup, if you don't put the perfume, that person's body is so undesirable. But by removing all the filth, removing the residues, putting on the makeup, doing the grooming, the shaving, all these things make it look desirous. So therefore, on its own, the body is not attractive. But with those additional things like the makeup, the decoration, the adornment, the cosmetics, and the jewelry, that makes that person beautiful. So therefore, if you really want to have attachment towards something, then it should be the jewelry, it should be the perfume, it should be um, the adornments, not the body itself, because the body on its own is not desirous at all. So I'll be opening up for questions from now onwards. You can ask questions. So one, so it is, as I said earlier, we are not, you're not disrespecting or disregarding male or female or any of that. But in order to curb the desire, if you need to look at the negative side so that you can curb that desire, right? When you by focusing on the negative side, you will be able to reduce the desire. So therefore, you have to look at it that way, and you must dissect. You must cut into small pieces all those different small particular things. And so then, by identifying those negative side, the more negatives you have, the more cons, like pro and cons, the more cons you are able to collect, the less desirous it will become, less desirable it will become, and you will be able to let go of the attachment towards that person. So there's a mention of the nine apertures or nine openings of the woman's body, but men and women both have such an opening. So basically, it is the from your face, the mouth, the two eyes, the nose, the two nostrils of the nose, and then the ears. They all have holes, and from the ear, waxes come out. From the nose, snots come out. From the eyes, when you wake up in the morning, if you don't wash, then there's the dirt, whatever, I don't know what they call it, that thing comes from the eyes. And similarly, from your private part, back and forth, or the the waste comes from the back side and the front side. And then if you are not careful enough, then also especially when you get older, that saliva starts slipping from your mouth. So basically, these are the nine orifices or the nine holes from which all the undesirable filth comes out. And by focusing on those undesirable things, then you will be able to reduce your attachment. Especially when you have this kind of desire. So we have different kind of defilements, different kind of negative emotion. Some people struggle with jealousy, some people struggle with anger, etc. So those people who struggle with attachment, there is a practice called skeletal meditation or meditation on skeleton, where you skeleton meditation on blood, pus, and skeleton. So you you focus on the skeleton, the mucus, the pus, and the blood, basically all the filthy things of that person. Because as I said earlier, the packaging is beautiful, but underneath that packaging is all that filthy thing. So you focus on the content rather than the packaging, and so you fixate your mind, you fixate your mind on the content, and every day, every morning, every day, whenever you meditate on the um, the undesirous, the filthy side of that person, and by doing so, you will be able to detach yourself from uh, that person, having attachment to that person, etc., like that. So Master Shantideva in his the Bodhisattva's Way, the book, he gave a number of effective, very practical sort of methods, instruction on how to reduce, how to eliminate our desire for towards the people that we are attached to. So, for example, this also goes in line in line with what Nagarjuna is saying here too. So he was saying like when you love a person, when you have attachment towards a person that looks beautiful, but they are beautiful because they smell nice, they look nice. But in order to look nice, they have to groom themselves, keep themselves tidy, shave. If they don't shave, they will look hairy and it's undesirable. And if they don't put up, in order to look nice, they have to clean themselves. They have to put water, they have to put soap, cosmetics, etc. And basically, if they look beautiful because of the cosmetics, then it is the cosmetic that makes it beautiful, not on its own accord. If you put sandals, if you put sandalwood, if you apply sandalwood, if you apply perfumes, then it's the perfume that is making that person attractive, not the person themselves. So therefore, anything that you desire when you have attachment towards that person, it is not that person itself which is attractive, but many additional things that makes that person attractive. So therefore, the thing that you desire, the thing that you're attracted towards, actually does not exist on its own. Only through the collaboration, or only through the uh, uh, assembly of all those the cosmetics, the soap, the razor to shave, everything when they combine together, then that makes the person look attractive to you. So therefore, the attractiveness of a person is not there by itself. On its own accord, it is not attractive. But we make them beautiful. We make them attractive. And so forth, there is a making process. There is an external, there is an foreign sort of additional input, which makes the person or a body or a skin or a flesh, whatever, looks desirable. So
Yeah.
once you dissect into all those additional things, then you will be able to understand that it is not that desirous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to reduce the attachment, in order to reduce the desire, one must observe. One must observe uh, one must observe the working, the function of the mind, how the mind is towards what object the mind is attracted to. So, for example, when you attract to some person, uh, then you must, let's say a lady, then you must ask yourself what part of that person I'm attracted to. You may say, okay, I'm attracted to everything that she does, but everything, like even when she's in the toilet, do you also desire that as well? No, you don't desire that. When she's puking, throwing up, do you desire that? No. So that means you don't desire everything that she is doing. So there are certain things that you desire. So what is that? Certain things that she do and she has that you desire, but not everything. So therefore, what are the few things or that you desire of her? Let's say her lips are so beautiful that you desire. Are you sure it is her lips that you desire? Then if it's really the lips that you desire, that makes you happy, that makes gives you pleasure and everything, then if it is her lips that is so beautiful and it makes you so desirable, then the more lips there are, it should be give you more pleasure, the better. Now imagine she has 3 mouths, 4 mouths, 10 mouths. Does that make you happy? No, right? Uh, you may have attraction towards her lips because her lips is so nice, so red, so smooth, etc. But if it's really the lips that is attractive, if it's really making you happy, then the more there is, it should make you feel better, make you feel more happy. It will not. Okay, let's say you attracted by her eyes. So if she has 4 eyes, like 2 eyes on the top, 2 eyes on the bottom, maybe 6 eyes, does that make her more beautiful? No. If it's really the eyes that you are attracted to, then more eyes should mean more desire, more happy. No, it doesn't make you like that. So you can actually replace that. I'm just for because it's a public teaching, so I'm just giving example of the eyes and ears like that. But you can utilize that for other parts of the body, which towards which you are attracted to, and then by fixating your mind on that, then you will be able to reduce your attachment towards that person, towards that body part of that person, like that. Now, the next verse is teaching us about the downfalls, the consequence of having carnal desire and then engaging in them. Okay, the flaws. I'll read in Tibetan. Chidar zejin simbu nyembani dewe tundu mela kundeja shiwar mikyu tedaan tawani deba namla chabanga kembar zu. Tundam sibar gile ngwa namla sushin yila giba te kom zeus. So there is actually 6 lines. A man with 26, verse number 26. A man with leprosy consumed by germs will stand before the fire for comfort's sake, but still find no relief. So know the same is true for those attached to the pleasure they desire. In order that you see the absolute, get used to truly understanding things. So basically, it's talking about see the ultimate truth. If you see the ultimate reality, not necessarily ultimate truth, but ultimate reality. If you see the ultimate reality or the bottom line of a thing, then you will no longer be attached by that thing. So the bottom line here is this: when you were given a box filled with urine or a box filled with shit, no matter how well packaged and decorated that box is, the bottom line, the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality is that it is a box of crap. So therefore, by understanding that, you will no longer be attracted to something. So the verse number 26 is basically talking about someone with leprosy, a leper. So in ancient times, when you're suffering from leprosy, there isn't much cure. There isn't cure at all. So therefore, a leprosy, they have the skin disorder and all that, and then usually their skin gets eaten or by moth, by bugs and germs and etc. And then there's so much pain. In order to get rid of the pain, in order to get rid of those germs, in ancient time, people burn their skin. I mean, they're trying to burn the germs. In order to burn the germs, they have to burn the skin in the fire. So even though it is so painful, but they do it anyways because in order to kill the germs, they have to. There is no other way. There is no other way. You have to burn your skin in order to burn or kill those bugs. So like that, in order to carnal desire is likened to that. It's same like that. In order to you have this desire inside you, and it is harmful, but despite knowing that and despite it being harmful, you still do it because it you think you get some relief. As I said earlier, uh, you tell yourself that what I should engage in carnal desire, pleasure, all the sexual desire, sexual pleasure, all these things, because that makes my life happy, my life wonderful. But at the same time, by engaging in that, it makes you more and more desirous. It makes is it brings more vanity to your life. It makes it brings vanity to your life, ruins your life, and then um, yeah, basically bring you to the ruins. And so therefore, one should avoid that. Shantideva actually used a more effective and practical instruction. So he actually, for the same sort of for the same purpose. So he actually said that engaging in desirous activity, engaging in sexual activity, all these things to curb the desire, because you have the urge, you have the desire. So then you engage in that is like scratching a part of your body that has an irritation. So you get irritated here on your skin. So you scratch it. So you get some relief. But the more you scratch it, the more irritation, the more irritating it becomes, and you scratch it more and more and more, and then after some time, you scar yourself, like that. Another analogy used in the sutra is that of you are very hungry, you are in the ocean, near the ocean, and you are very thirsty, and in order to quench your thirst, because you are so thirsty, what do? You drink water. So there is water or no? There is water because it's the ocean. So you keep drinking the ocean water, but you become more thirsty, but you still keep drinking because it is water, and water is good for thirst. But you are unaware of the fact that this is ocean water, saline water, salt water. And the more water you drink, the more thirsty you become. You are unaware of that. So engaging in sexual desire, engaging in on the attachment, just because you have that urge, is just like that. Scratching an irritation, because there is an irritation, you keep scratching it. Nowadays, people tell you that, okay, if there is something irritating, when we do that a lot when we were kids, then our parents will tell, don't scratch it, just let it be. And we put some ointment, put some medicine, and then don't scratch it, because if you scratch it, it becomes worse. Uh, but when we were a kid, we're not aware of that. So similarly, engaging in those carnal desire is just like that. The more you engage in them, the more you get excited, the more you want, and then it is never ending, like that. Yeah. So I'll just finish the line, the verse. In order that you see the absolute, get used to truly understanding things. No other practices there, such as this, possessed of special virtue, such as these. So as I said earlier, if you see the absolute, so here absolute truth does not mean like the emptiness or that kind of thing. Here absolute is like as I said earlier, like the package and the content inside. So when you understand what is the content inside, then you will no longer be attracted or distracted by the packaging. So therefore, seeing what is inside, seeing the package is important. Sorry, seeing the content is very important. There's no other virtue as more important than seeing the content, seeing the essence, seeing the real thing. Once you see the real thing, then you will no longer be distracted by all those the glittering things, all those flashy things, all those so-called beautiful, flashy things. Yeah. Thank you so much, and that's all for today. And now we will go to the dedication. Yewa di nyordo da lama sangye chogyoro ne dowa che kyang ma lue kege sa lang ge bara sho chanjo semjo rembo che ma ge panama ge gyuro ke ba nyamba me ba yang kone kondo pe wara sho. Next, mi men ze ve dere jen je si te me kem pe wan bo jang be yang de boi mai lu cho mai ze sang we da kan je gen be zo gen zon kan ba lai san chai be shai lai so wan de lo san chai be Shai lai so wan dem dembe nimbo zembe. Next. Benga shen naman do yu kun la changju lop san che ye jem ze cho kun do jen ye do jen damba so wan de.
Thank you, Jibuchela.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very much,
much.
Rinpoche.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rinpoche. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you Rinpoche
Very
là
good.
Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Cảm ơn anh Hưng nhé. Good night
Cảm ơn Thầy Đạo
Rinpoche
Hiếu
là
ạ.
thầy.
Cảm ơn Hưng nghe.